Hello, I am Patricia Neal, and I am a stroke survivor. I know firsthand how dependent we are when we become disabled. For simple things like getting from one place to the other. As patients improve, they need help moving about. This is part of recovery. Families as well as staff can contribute to it. But most of us, patients and caregivers, are intimidated by these maneuvers. Preventing injury is a primary concern, of course, but beyond that, the way you move patients affects how they feel about themselves. Proper transfers help them maintain a sense of control and dignity, and that fosters recovery.
It's the role of the rehabilitation team to help the patient with independent functioning. The job of the physical therapist in particular is to help patients with transferring, moving, sitting, standing. The rehabilitation team needs to work with the family. The family can begin to learn means of getting that person to move around. It's not enough to just try to get a person to walk, but you want the person to be able to move in bed, to be able to get up and down in bed, and you want the family members to be able to contribute. But you want them to be able to contribute in a way that is not harmful to themselves, that doesn't drain all their energy, so that they can indeed provide the person with an optimal experience. And I think the work that you will be seeing on this videotape helps the family member, helps the patient try to work together to get that type of goal. Every transfer situation is unique, but 6 basic principles will guide you in moving any patient.
It's important to start with concepts rather than with techniques, because every day you'll be confronted with a new, unexpected situation that you need to deal with. So today we're going to teach those principles to you. We're going to get the skills that those principles imply. It's not enough just to know the name of the principle. You have to be able to do something with it. And then we're also going to give you some examples about how to use these principles in the process of interacting with your family member.
Okay, now be careful.
I can't lift on this arm.
Don't lift on it. Be careful.
I don't know.
Sharon, you're going to have to back around, honey.
Oh, I don't know how I can do that.
The Luster family is facing a common dilemma. They want to help, but like most of us, they lack the skills to do so. According to the Journal of Occupational Medicine, the most stressful task in the healthcare industry involved transferring patients from one location to the other. In the first video, you will learn one of the most useful ideas in making transfers. Principle number 1, move one body mass at a time. Don't move the whole body at once.
The human being is made out of 7 masses. We have a head, we have a chest mass, we have a pelvic mass, we have 2 arms and 2 legs. And they can all move. The reason they can move is that they have space between them. So we have a head mass, and then we have a space in the neck area. We have a chest mass, and we have a space in the lumbar spine. We have a pelvic mass, and then we have space between the leg and the pelvis. So let's all experience that for a minute. Will you put your hands on your head, and let's just move. Just move your head. All right, now let's make the counter distinction. Take hold of your neck area and use your hand to try and move your head by pushing on your neck. Can you feel the difference? So in effect, what you've got when you block the movement of the neck is that you've got a head and a chest that are of one mass. And it's very important to be able to separate these two. Okay? The next area, let's move. Can you sit up so that you can move your chest side to side, forward and backwards, Notice that your chest is movable. Okay? Now, try holding on to your waist. That's the space between your chest and your pelvis. And try to move your chest from pushing on your waist. And notice that when you push on your waist, the chest can't move because you've tied the chest to the pelvis.
Okay, now so you can experience real clearly what happens when you block those spaces. Put one hand on your neck, and put your other hand around your waist, and now try to move and see that your whole upper body moves as a stick. And you can't separate the movement of the masses whenever you're holding the spaces, because then they all move as one unit. When that happens, you have a great deal of weight that you're moving at one time.
Let's try something. Let's hold on to your neck and hold on to your waist, and let's all come to standing.
Try to
the
stand
patient
up.
stay sitting, but the family members try and sit up when you're holding on to your waist and you're holding on to your neck. Stand up.
Try to stand up.
Okay, now sit back down and put your hand on your head and your hand on your chest and come to standing. Can you feel the difference?
Easier.
It's much easier, isn't it? Okay? And the point is very simple. If you're trying to help somebody and you block the space between their masses, you're really inhibiting them. You're blocking them and making it more difficult to do the function you're trying to do.
And you have to control a great deal of weight at one time. And that's how you get hurt.
Okay, let's all stand up now, those the non-patient members, and you too, Mrs. Vargas. I think you're far enough along. We're going to do the hoochie coochie here with our pelvis. I want you to feel that your pelvis is one of these masses that can move. And in fact, it's a very important mass because it's right in the middle of everything. And if you can't move that mass, you've got a lot of difficulty of getting the other masses to be able to move also. Okay, now watch. Let's move our knees back and forth. And these are the mass of your lower extremities, your legs. And they move without your hip moving. Can you feel that? You can move one leg, or you can move the other, or you can move them both. And that's because there's a space between the leg mass and the pelvic mass.
Okay? Now, just for fun, we do this a lot with people, just so you feel they all move independently. Move your head, okay? Now, at the same time, move your chest. You feel a little dumb when you do it, but you can feel that everything moves separate.
That all moves.
And then move your pelvis and move your legs.
And now, while you're doing that, sit down now. Can you do that? Move
Can you
everything
sit down
and sit
at
down.
the same time?
Okay? All right, now that's evidence of these differentiable masses that have to be moved if you're going to help somebody else move. I want to show you something about how this all moves. Will you lay down here, Frank? As soon as you understand that each one of your masses moves separately, that means that you don't ever have to lift a whole person at once. If you're going to move somebody, you can move one mass at a time. See, I move Frank's head over this side. I can move his arm mass over here. I can move this arm mass up here. I can move a leg mass to another place over here. I'll move this leg mass over here. Now all I have to do is move his pelvis. We can move his chest. It's a little easier to move his chest when his arms are on his chest, but I don't ever have to lift a whole person at once. Now we see how the principle of moving one mass at a time is useful in getting patients to the side of the bed in order to bring them to sitting.
Okay, now to move him sideways, I'm going to move each one separately. And the legs bend to the side, so I let it bend. I don't even have to lift the weight of this leg. And I extend it again, and he's moved over. This part of his body has moved over. I take his second leg, I let it bend a little. I shift his weight over here. I take his head and move it a little bit sideways. We take this arm and just cross it over his chest, and you hold it with this one, okay? Just so it stays there, you don't have to work hard to do it. Now, if I want to move his pelvis, first of all, I have to roll his pelvis a little bit away to get my hand under it, okay? Now, when I put my hand under it, the weight of the pelvis shifts somewhere else. Here, you can put yours there too.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, I take his pelvis here, and we roll it so that the weight's on our hand. Can you feel that?
Yeah.
Okay, now, we're going to let the weight back down, and at the same time, take his pelvis over a little tiny bit. Now, we've almost got him off the bed. We
Yes,
moved him
we
so
have.
far. Okay, now I want to move his chest, so can you just support his leg there so he doesn't
Okay.
go any farther? But his chest is the same thing. I roll the weight of the mass of his chest away. I put the weight onto my hand. I roll his chest farther onto me, and then I let the weight of his chest back down at the same time as moving it, and I've moved it one mass at a time. Now, when you move him that way, it's very easy, it's very relaxing. We'll learn that together, and we're going to learn it in a class with your whole family, so that you learn with healthy people how to move somebody one mass at a time. We'll practice it many times with people of different weights before you do it with your husband.
Oh, okay.
Okay? Good.
Earlier we saw the Luster family struggle to lift their father from the bed to a chair. Here they learn to do it moving one mass at a time.
Here, let's solve this a little different. You stand back over here, Vince, and we'll help Grandpa this way. You stay there for just a minute and we'll help him down. Good, Sharon, if you'll back that way. Okay, let's put Grandpa back down on the bed. Good, you can move that leg pretty good. Okay, just let your head rest there a minute. All right, Mr. Luster, we're going to bring you to sitting on the edge of the bed, and we're going to be very careful not to lift your weight. So watch, I'm going to roll this arm over your chest, and we'll bring your head forward a little bit here, and then I'm going to bring this leg off to the side of the bed a little bit. We'll bring this one a little further, so each time we're doing just a little bit at a time. Okay, here we go. And now, and that way I've brought you to sitting. You've helped a lot. And there we are without any lifting. Okay, here we are sitting now. Watch. This is going from sitting on this bed to sitting in that chair is taking a step. So let's place this foot so it's already making the step. Okay, now we're going to come forward. If you put your hand on my shoulder, and we'll lean forward until we've got your weight on your leg. And then we simply turn and let your butt back down into the chair. That was pretty easy. Yeah. Okay? The best way to learn about moving masses is to practice it with others. Before going on to principle number 2, take the time to practice moving a healthy partner on the bed or floor. Remember, make contact on their masses and leave their spaces free for movement.